There are a number of different ways in Alert Stratus that I can schedule activities and complete activities against cases. I can choose to do so from the time entry and calendar portal. I can do so right from the activities entity if I'm creating a number of activities perhaps against multiple cases from one screen. I can do so right from Outlook if I have our CRM system with Alert Stratus that's integrated with Outlook. And I can also choose to do so manually right from the case, which is what we'll do for this example. So I can open the case that we're going to schedule and complete an activity for. Here it's for our Magnificent Store customer that is requiring technical support. I can click the activities entity where here I'll see a list of all of our activities for this case. I can click here in the ribbon bar to create a new appointment or a new service activity to schedule and complete this case. So I'll start by putting a name of our activity. For this example, I'll select it to be a costed appointment. It's bringing over our case and it's bringing over our service code because we entered this service code at the case level. I can type in a location of this activity. We'll select the required resource to complete this activity. I can also choose to add an optional resource to complete this activity. And in this area here is where I'm going to enter our scheduled start and end time, and this is going to be the activity that's going to appear in our calendar. So I can say at this date, at these times. I can choose how I'd like to show this appointment in my calendar, and I can also choose what type of priority level this activity is going to fall under. Now if I were to save and close this activity now that I've scheduled it, this time is going to appear in our calendar, and if I simply go back to this appointment once I've completed the activity, here's where I'm going to put in all of our actuals. So again, I can choose to do this from our time entry and calendar portal. If I have this synced with Outlook, I can choose to do it from there as well. For this example, I'm just reopening this appointment and plugging in my actuals from this screen. So I can say I started at 11. Perhaps I went until 2 p.m. It'll bring over my actual duration for me. I can add any travel to or any travel from minutes. I can add lunch minutes. I can also enter any quantity of miles that we might have driven for this case. I can provide a description of the type of work that I completed, or I can choose to enter that as a note. And now from here, the next step is going to be to save and close this activity. Now we're never going to mark any appointment that is going to be costed. We're never going to mark that complete. If we do, we're going to get an error message. Anytime we have a costed appointment or for any service activity in Alert Stratus, we're always going to put in our actual details and then we're going to save and close. We're never going to say mark complete anytime we have a costed appointment or any service activity. What will happen is we'll end up getting an error message if we mark it complete, because the system assumes the activity has been complete once we put in an actual start and end time. So when we have this costed appointment, we've entered our actual start and end time, we're now just going to save and close this activity, and the system will assume that it's been completed. So now I can go back to my case, I can refresh this, I can see that we have our appointment here. I can go back to the case, and I know that I've now resolved this case, so I can select here to complete the case. Now that I've completed the case will be now marked complete in the status reason field. The status is still going to be active and the case is still technically open. Once it's been completed, someone's going to go back to the case and close it. So perhaps it's the same resource that completed the case, perhaps it's a project manager, or perhaps it's a supervisor or someone in an administrative role. They will go back to this case and then close it so that we know that this case has now been complete and closed and it's now ready for billing.